This is a theory that seems to talk about Bowser and King Boo from the Mario series. Bowser is a crazy villain. Some of his deaths at the end of the Mario games are pretty brutal. An example is in Super Mario Galaxy 1, when he falls into a star and has to go through an exploding planet that turns into a black hole with him on it. King Boo's role in the Mario series at first glance doesn't seem to be anything significant. He only appears in a few Mario games, and aside from the Luigi's Mansion series, his role in the games he does appear in is minor. You may think that Bowser and King Boo have nothing related to each other. However, they both play a major role together in the Mario series, which keeps the series alive. While this is never explained directly, there are a few games in the Mario series which give hints about the truth of Bowser and King Boo. Super Mario World is the first game in the Mario series in which hints about the theory are included. While it is small, it is important, especially for King Boo. King Boo was really around as early as the Super Mario 3 days, in which Boos first appeared. King Boo was around in this time. 2. He just never appeared in game. While Super Mario Bros. 3 doesn't include hints to the theory, Super Mario World does. Have you realized how occasionally there were these ghost house levels in Super Mario World? These houses are where Boos lived peacefully, and they didn't want anybody bothering them. Then came Mario, who randomly ran into the house, disrupting and sometimes knocking out Boos. This happened numerous times in most ghost house levels. The Boos knew they had to stop this, so they reported to King Boo and told him that Mario has been a pain to them and he needs to be stopped. King Boo was furious about this, as ghost houses are meant to be places where Boos could live peacefully, but instead Mario keeps starting chaos within the Boo families that reside there. Thus, King Boo started tracking down Mario. This started the Boos and King Boo's hatred towards Mario that continues to today. Paper Mario is the second game in the Mario series that provides hints about the theory. This game is very important to the theory, especially for Bowser. While the main attention in this game goes to Bowser, King Boo deserves to be noticed as well. Between Super Mario World and Paper Mario, Mario continued to be disruptive to Boos, especially in Yoshi games. While he hasn't been as disruptive, it was still enough to continue King Boo's hatred toward Mario. In Paper Mario though, Mario actually allied with the Boos in World 3. While you may think this would change King Boo's mood about Mario, if you think more into it, you'll see that what Mario did wasn't nearly enough to make up for what he did in Super Mario World. First, Mario only allied with one ghost house, compared to the several he disrupted in Super Mario World. Second, Mario was kind of forced to help the Boos, because they wouldn't give him the Star Spirit until he helped solve their problem. All in all, what Mario did in Paper Mario wasn't enough to stop King Boo's hatred toward him. Bowser played a much bigger and interesting role to the theory in Paper Mario. The end of the game is where it gets interesting. This starts in the scene where Bowser and Kammy Koopa are on a platform about to explode. Mario is on it too, but he escapes due to the help of the stars. Bowser though, the explosion of the platform is heard, explosions are seen, and Bowser is not seen anywhere escaping. Note that the platform is also thousands of feet in the sky, if not more. While Bowser's deaths before this game were a little understandable on how he survived, maybe he can swim in lava and only got injured on his falls. There's no explanation on how Bowser could survive being on an exploding platform thousands of feet in the sky. The explosion, or at least the fall, should have killed him. In fact, proof about Bowser's death may be hinted in game. At the very end of the game, when you must walk to Peach's castle to trigger the ending scene, go to the center part of town. In front of Merlin's house should be a sign, which is called the Toadtown News. After mentioning about how Mario defeated Bowser and how Peach and her castle are safe, it also mentions this. Bowser was badly beaten and will likely never return. We're sure of it. Almost positive. The sign clearly states how Bowser was beaten badly, which is true. Being on an exploding platform Bowser's feet in the sky is literally a death sentence, even for someone as tough as Bowser. Mario also fell from the same height at the beginning of the game and got killed, but he was shortly revived by the stars. The sign also states on how Bowser won't return. This is also true. There is no way Bowser can return if he is beaten up so badly that he is likely dead. But wait, if Bowser is dead, then why is he still alive as the main villain in the Mario series today? This is because the theory still expands to the Mario game after Paper Mario. Luigi's Mansion. Luigi's Mansion is perhaps the most important game to this theory. Both King Boo and Bowser play equally important roles in the game. This game is why the Mario series still has Bowser as the main villain today. While this is never told, it is hinted. The hints are actually shown right in front of you. It's just that it's hard for one to connect all of them together. Fortunately, I was able to. You all know what happens at the start of the game. Luigi goes to a mansion that he won in a contest, only to find out that it's much darker than what he was shown in a provided picture. He also doesn't know where Mario is, who went into the mansion before him. Luigi meets Professor Egad, who gives him the Poltergust 3000. This is the first game where King Boo is seen in game. He first appears after Luigi opens a trapdoor and a bunch of Boos and King Boo fly out of it. About midway through the game, you see King Boo in a fancy room with Mario inside a painting, struggling to get out. This is the first sign that King Boo is up to something evil. But soon after one of the biggest hints about this theory is told, in Area 3, do you remember the fortune-telling ghost, also known as Madame Clairvoyant? You know, the kind ghost who tells Luigi to bring Mario's dropped objects so she can see what happened to Mario? Well, she says something very important. Once you give her the last object, after she says to the orb to show them all it can about Mario, she will say this. What is this? Bowser? How can this be? I see the hideous form of Bowser. Is Bowser somewhere in this mansion? I cannot believe it. And yet I see it. I thought that Mario had soundly defeated Bowser. Has King Boo somehow revived Bowser? This could be horrible. Well, for you. The fortune-telling ghost mentions important things. She confirms that Bowser still exists, but she doesn't understand why, considering Mario soundly defeated Bowser. Remember that Paper Mario was the Mario game before Luigi's Mansion, and how the Toadtown News signs in Paper Mario also thought that Bowser wouldn't return. Also remember Bowser's brutal defeat at the end of Paper Mario. See a connection there? Also note the part when she mentions how King Boo could have revived Bowser. This will be important later on. The next hint and connection occurs when Luigi opens the door to King Boo's room. Before the battle begins, King Boo does some talking about Mario's painting. He does, however, mention a connection. I remember how much trouble you've caused me in the past. This doesn't make sense at first, considering this is King Boo's first appearance in the Mario series. But remember what I said earlier about how Mario kept on going into ghost houses in Super Mario World. That and other rude interactions with Boos is what King Boo meant by the trouble. After some talking, King Boo somehow makes the room do a 360 and make the Mario painting turn into a Bowser painting. King Boo then goes into the Bowser painting and sucks Luigi in. Then you will fight the final boss on the roof of the mansion. Bowser with King Boo inside of it. Remember connections. Remember how the fortune-telling ghost mentioned on how King Boo could have somehow revived Bowser. All in all, King Boo wanted to get revenge on Mario for the trouble he did with the Boos by luring him into a mansion filled with ghosts and reviving his now dead arch-enemy Bowser. The connections don't stop after Luigi's Mansion. If you pay attention, you'll see that Bowser's deaths after Luigi's Mansion are more violent and extreme than before, especially in the most recent games. For example, as mentioned before, in Super Mario Galaxy 1, released in 2007, Bowser fell into a star. This should surely burn him to death. Even if he could swim in lava, the gravity should flatten him. Yet he appears later on a planet that is getting destroyed. The planet then explodes and turns into a black hole with Bowser on it. It may seem like there is no way Bowser could survive that and other brutal deaths in recent Mario games. However, there is one way to explain this. Just recently, I explained on how King Boo revived Bowser. Well, he didn't get completely destroyed in Luigi's Mansion. Why? He is a ghost. And as you all know, because ghosts are already dead, they can't die. What King Boo did instead, though, is give Bowser some help. He took over his body to keep him alive, hoping that he can find a way to get revenge on Mario. You know how ghosts come for revenge and forever haunt you? This is what is happening to Mario. King Boo is taking over Bowser to keep him alive. Since ghosts can't die, King Boo is thinking of even more evil plans than before. This explains why Bowser's plans recently are normally more extreme than just capturing Peach. For example, in most games before Luigi's Mansion, Bowser's plan is mostly just to capture Peach and keep Mario from saving her. In games after Luigi's Mansion, Bowser focuses on trying to really marry Peach. Perhaps King Boo has an infatuation with Peach, actually killing Mario and to conquer the Mushroom Kingdom. Sometimes he even takes it to another level to conquer the universe, like what it was seen in Super Mario Galaxy. Bowser's sudden darker personality in games after Luigi's Mansion proves that he is controlled by King Boo, as King Boo has proven to have a dark, evil personality in his appearances in game, similar to how Bowser's dark personality in Mario games after Luigi's Mansion. This is also why Bowser keeps coming back, no matter how brutal his defeat is. Since he is controlled by King Boo, he won't die as he is now part ghost. You may be thinking it is Kamek or Bowser Jr. who is reviving Bowser instead. That could be true in some of Bowser's less extreme deaths, such as falling in lava. However, in post-Luigi's Mansion games, some of the Bowser's defeats at the end are so extreme that it's hard to believe that Kamek can actually revive him. For example, in both Super Mario Galaxy games, Bowser's final defeat is getting sucked into a black hole. And it is hard to imagine Kamek or Bowser Jr. is going to go into the black hole with him to revive him. They would get killed as well. Only King Boo, a ghost who can't die, can help his body somehow find a way to survive still intact. Perhaps he's even made another copy of Bowser's body if his body was lost in the black hole. Not even Kamek or Bowser Jr. can do that. Bowser's body could have gotten beaten extremely badly and lost at the end of Paper Mario, thus Kamek could have not revived him. Only King Boo could create a new copy of Bowser's body and control him himself if this is the case, as he could have done as the final boss in Luigi's Mansion. In fact, in some of the most recent Mario Brothers games, such as the new Super Mario Brothers for the Nintendo DS, a new form of Bowser called Dry Bowser appears, which is basically Bowser with only his bones. He appears after Bowser's body was previously destroyed in battle, mostly from falling into the lava. It seemingly makes no sense for Bowser to have his skin burnt off by the lava and still function perfectly with only his bones. The reason for this is that Dry Bowser is actually Bowser's carcass, the remains of Bowser after he is defeated, in which King Boo is possessing. Thus Bowser still seems perfectly functioned with only his bones because King Boo is possessing his bones and his body remains. Bowser's carcass is actually not the only body in which is possessed after it's defeated. Dry bone enemies, which are the remains of regular Koopas, and are able to still function and be a threat to Mario despite being dead because regular Boos are possessing them. Since King Boo is more powerful than other Boos, he is able to return Bowser's skin and flesh to his body to make him more complete. He is also able to defend Bowser/Dry Bowser against the normal Dry Bones' worst weakness, fire, in some way with his increased power when compared to other Boos. After Luigi's Mansion, King Boo only appeared in Mario spin-off games such as Mario Party and Mario Kart. While he does also make appearances in Super Mario Sunshine and Super Princess Peach, this could be because King Boo left Bowser's body to destroy Mario by himself. The more likely reason for Bowser and King Boo appearing in a few Mario games together, though, is the fact that the King Boo in non-Luigi's Mansion games is just a fake, while the real King Boo is controlling Bowser's body. Notice how the Luigi's Mansion King Boo has special features such as the glowing eyes, purple tongue, and the weird crown. The King Boo in other Mario games doesn't have any of these features. So most likely the King Boo you see in Mario Kart, Mario Party, and other non-Luigi's Mansion games is just a fake and replacement, while the true King Boo is busy controlling Bowser. Dry Bowser does appear as a character in Mario Kart Wii, also with the regular complete Bowser, but it is possible that the Dry Bowser in that game is either a fake or a clone made by King Boo. In Luigi's Mansion 2 Dark Moon, King Boo escapes from Bowser's body as he realizes that Luigi is again capturing ghosts. Bowser doesn't make an appearance in that game, which is also a connection. He decides to attempt to destroy Luigi again, this time in his real ghost form without Bowser's body. Despite his best efforts, Luigi again spoiled King Boo's plans to take over the Mushroom Kingdom in his ghost form. King Boo, of course, doesn't really die, he just returns to Bowser's body to think of his next plan to get revenge on the Mario Brothers. The theory. Before Luigi's Mansion, Bowser's really Bowser himself. He wants to capture Peach to take over the Mushroom Kingdom. However, he fails and instead gets hurt from falling into pits and swimming into lava, and perhaps even revived by magic in some of those cases. In Paper Mario, though, after his plan failed, Bowser once and for all is destroyed as he deals with an explosion on a platform thousands of feet in the sky. The explosion was so extreme that Bowser's body was forever destroyed and lost, so not even magic could revive his body. It appeared like the Mushroom Kingdom and Peach would be safe once and for all. However, King Boo had different plans. King Boo had a hatred toward Mario for all the trouble he had caused with his Boos in games such as Super Mario World. He wanted revenge on Mario. He even perhaps has an infatuation with Peach, and wants to find a way to marry her. King Boo found the chance when he found out about Bowser's death. He decided to capture Mario for himself and revive and create a new Bowser body to take over the Mushroom Kingdom for himself. Thus, he can get his revenge on Mario and marry Peach, Bowser's body hiding the fact that he's really a ghost. Luigi, though, saved the day, as he destroyed King Boo and his revived Bowser and saved Mario. However, as you all know, ghosts don't die. King Boo took over Bowser's body and controlled him. He continued with Bowser's plans. Bowser's plans after Luigi's Mansion are more evil than before because of this. Also because Bowser is now controlled by King Boo, a ghost that is already dead anyway, Bowser keeps on coming back for more. no matter how brutal his death is. King Boo, a few times, does leave Bowser's body to destroy the Mario Brothers in his real form, but the Mario Brothers are too much for him, as he plans to keep getting spoiled by them. All in all, King Boo is really controlling Bowser's body with many future goals in mind waiting to be accomplished. This is continuing to this day. King Boo is thinking of his next plan to marry Peach, get rid of the Mario Brothers, and take over the Mushroom Kingdom once and for all. In Super Mario 3D World, instead of capturing Peach, King Boo instead attempts to kidnap the 7 Sprixie princesses. This makes no sense, but it actually does. The reason is that the Sprixies are the only ones who can actually destroy ghosts. This leads to a King Boo kidnapping the princesses instead of Peach. Although defeated, King Boo was still able to escape. After being defeated by one or more of our heroes, King Boo used the defeat as a diversion to return to their world and convincingly trapped in a bottle. Another similar theory to the one explained above is that King Boo is actually Bowser's ghost. The theory would remain largely the same, except this time there was no true King Boo before Paper Mario. And when Bowser died in Paper Mario, his spirit became King Boo. Therefore, the trouble in the past that King Boo meant in Luigi's Mansion would not just be for the trouble that he caused in Ghost Houses, but the trouble he caused him while he was alive trying to capture Peach. King Boo then built and revived his own body, which, with the exception of Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, used to try to get revenge on the Mario Brothers over and over, but with failure each time. With the fact that dry bones are referred to as dead Koopa Troopers possessed by their own spirit in the form of Boos, it makes sense that Bowser, the king of the Koopa Troopers, would be possessed by his own spirit in the form of King Boo, and Bowser also having a dry bones-like form with dry Bowser. This could also better explain how Bowser, even after Luigi's Mansion, showed an infatuation toward Peach. Since, under this theory, King Boo is the dead form of Bowser, it would make more sense that he would still try to marry Peach, but take it more seriously now that he is undead. So, what a crazy, here's something different, completely different. Instead of just a creepypasta story, a creepypasta theory. Now, this theory obviously is based on the fact of Bowser wasn't really alive and King Boo possessed him. This is somewhat kind of true because as you saw and you heard me read, in Luigi's Mansion, Bowser is possessed by King Boo. And you notice in the boss battle, the only way you can defeat Bowser, King Boo, is when Bowser throws the spikes balls, the explosive spike balls at you, you have to suck it up with your vacuum, and when Bowser crouches down to do like a suck you in or breathe flames at you, you let go of the spike ball and it will hit Bowser in the face, knocking his head off, decapitating him, and King Boo would pop out of his body and you have to suck him, try to use the vacuum to lower himself all the way down to 0 and defeat King Boo / Bowser. And after King Boo, and then once King Boo recuperates, he'll go back into his body and then the head will come back on and you see Bowser kind of fit his head on. You kind of notice that in the beginning when Bowser lands in the cutscene before the battle begins. You kind of notice that Bowser kind of like does this little thing with his head, like he kind of like adjusts his head a little bit because it feels like it's kind of loose, and that kind of gives a giveaway to Luigi. Luigi's like, oh, I gotta remove the head. I gotta remove the head. So, who knows? And especially with the fact that now we have Luigi's Mansion 3 coming out next year. Who knows what will happen next with that, if the theory will stay strong or whatever. Now, do I believe in this theory? a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised, but again, you never know because Nintendo has never confirmed it completely, but they've given hints about it. There's still hints about it. That's the thing. The one thing about Mario Galaxy, the first Mario Galaxy, yeah, it's true. He falls into a star, lands on a planet that explodes and turns into a black hole. Not only him, Mario, Peach, the Comet Observer, the Rosalina ship, and everything gets sucked in. Then Rosalina uses her power to do a Thanos and like not necessarily wipe out half the universe, but restart everything from before it happened. So pretty much all she did was create a new version, a new timeline in a sense. She created a new universe, a new galaxy. So that restarts everything. So Bowser still gets revived. But then again, that still kind of holds true with the whole theory because that was after Luigi's Mansion. And I think this could also make the whole thing about Mario Odyssey make more sense as well. Because it doesn't mention Mario Odyssey, because I guess at the time when this story was published. Mario Odyssey, if you don't know the plot, Bowser wants to marry Princess Peach. So he wants to have a wedding, and he tries to get all these particular things, like a ring, champagne, and a dress, a lot of this stuff. And he wants to marry Peach, so it's up to Mario and Cappy to prevent that from happening. So that kind of makes sense with the whole Bowser wants to marry Peach. But didn't Bowser want to marry Peach in Super Paper Mario? I never played that game, but I do remember that that's not the only time that Bowser wanted to try to marry Peach. But I think in Super Paper Mario, which was released the same year as his Super Mario Galaxy, I think there was a moment where Bowser wanted to marry Peach. So I have no idea. I'm pretty sure someone will confirm that for me, but honestly, this creepypasta theory is pretty interesting when you really think about it. Going back to like the first Paper Mario game from the Nintendo 64, where Bowser's death is so brutal, where he explodes on a platform thousands of feet in the sky, and then the Toad Town News says that Bowser will likely never return. We can be sure about that. We're positive that's the case because that's the game before Luigi's Mansion. So who knows? But I wouldn't say another interesting. I'm surprised that the author left out Super Mario Sunshine. I'm really surprised that this person left out Super Mario Sunshine, because wouldn't that game take place after Luigi's Mansion or before? Because that kind of throws a little bit of a wrench into this theory, because if Luigi's Mansion is the first game after Paper Mario, then where's Super Mario Sunshine? Is that before Luigi's Mansion or after? You know what I mean? It kind of throws like a little wrench into it, because Mario would have known, but then again, you have that one moment in Gelato. What's the name of that level? It's the Hotel Delfino. In Hotel Delfino, in the air ducts, you have this one Pianta cleaning the air ducts, and he kind of comments like, why don't someone with a vacuum come up here and suck them up? And that's like supposed to be an Easter egg to Luigi's Mansion. That's what a lot of people would say. So who knows? But anyways, hopefully, I don't know what Luigi, especially you got And in Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, which I've never played, but I know that King Boo is the only one there. Bowser, it's the only game that Bowser does not appear in, for Christ's sake. Because it seems like Bowser will always appear in all games that involve, like, villains. But, well, it would make sense because King Boo wants to try to defeat Luigi in his true form. He wanted to see if he could do it. So he kidnaps Mario again. What a surprise. So, who knows what Luigi's Mansion 3 will hold? Because we all know we have that new Luigi's Mansion coming out in 2019. And most likely, the crucial things that might appear in that game is Mario is kidnapped, King Boo, and possibly Bowser. Probably. Who knows? But if I could rate this creepypasta, I honestly could. I'm gonna rate this 8.5 to 9 out of 10 because the theory is really, really interesting. That's like, you know what I mean? It's really interesting how when you really look back into the old Mario games, you kind of like think about this. I'm honestly impressed by the author of this story coming up with this theory, because it's really, really fascinating and interesting, because it would explain why Bowser came back with more evil intentions than before after Paper Mario. So, who knows? So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's creepypasta reading. Now, I do have another creepypasta planned for this month, hopefully, if I can get it done in time. And that is a Super Smash Bros. Creepypasta. Since that Super Smash Bros. Is coming out this month, I might as well do a Super Smash Bros. Creepypasta later this month. It's a creepypasta, I think it's called Super Smash Bros. Hidaka. That's all I remember. It's another creepypasta that some ordinary gamers read, Mudahar read. And speaking of Mudahar, I've noticed a lot of people commenting on my creepypasta videos about the fact that they finally found that Mudahar removed his creepypasta readings, and they somehow found mine. And here's a little interesting thing. The reason why I do these creepypasta readings is because of Mudahar. He inspired me to do these. So that's why I still do these, even though I haven't done them as frequently as I should. But I noticed it too, with the whole thing that he removed most of his videos. Most likely due to the copyright and the new YouTube policies and stuff, which is sad, because they were really good stories, they were really good readings, and I might not be as good of a reader as Mudahar. Like, someone even commented that, not as good as Mudahar, but it's still a good video. At least some people were fair. At least people were fair about it. Like, look, I'm not Mudahar, but at least I got the creepypastas for you. So I don't know. I appreciate you all who discovered me, but when trying to find Mudahar's videos, but instead found mine instead. I appreciate you all. So hopefully you could stick around. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's creepypasta reading. If you have any things to change in this creepypasta to make it better, let me know in the comments down below. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe, share this video with your friends. Be sure to ring that bell to be part of the notification squad. Be sure to also check out my Instagram because I make cool ads on Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, even myself. I also do reenactments and cosplays on there, so go check it out. Be sure to also check out my Tumblr, it's in the description as well. So until next time, JRDL96 signing out, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.